All right, we're back. Master Tate Frazier here. He's with Harry in New Orleans. Harry, Harry's been a big North Carolina fan for many, many years. Could not miss this game. Oh, no, wait. None of that is true. But he's there.
Baby, North Carolina.
It's true. He's a big ACC guy. I do want to talk. We talked about the other night. Great win. Very nervous. You said the most nervous you've been at a game, Tate? You said for sure?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say nervous because I thought we were good enough to beat them. I thought we were the better team.
Mm-hmm.
I was anxious because I was waiting to see how they were going to screw us over. You know what I mean? I was just waiting for what was going to be the final nail in the coffin, and then the fact that it didn't happen, it's been great ever since.
And it really just comes down to college kids missing free throws at the end, right?
Oh, I loved it. I loved it so much.
Williams,
That's true.
Poor guy. All right, so here's what's good. I have good news. I've been terrible. I was 0-2 Saturday. I've been not good, although I had Villanova to win the whole thing. So I don't think they win that game even with more in there. I really don't. Kansas got off to such a crazy start, dispatched of them. I feel like I have more reasons to pick against both teams tonight than I do for them. I joke about you have one more game, but the emotion involved in winning that game, the celebration, and Caleb Love hugging strange ladies outside of elevators, it does seem anticlimactic. On the other hand, I can't see Kansas shooting as well as they did. Baji and McCormick were what, 16 for 20? Yep. Baji Harry and I were following 6 for 7 from 3. I don't understand how they could do that. And yet you got guys like, Remy Martin, who I think had 3 or 5 points. He had 20 in previous games. You rely on him. Braun underachieved the other day. I am, you should be happy. I'm taking Kansas -4. I'm rooting for you, but for the purpose of giving a pick, I'm going to take Kansas -4. Kansas is a small favorite last 12 games, 10-2, 9-3 against the spread. Average margin of victory, 12.6. That's a favorite of 5 or fewer. And as far as favorites go in a national championship, I know this doesn't really matter, but the favorite is 12-5 against the spread, 11-6. Tate, I know you're going Carolina. If you could take the blinders off, do you think they stack up? Does 4 seem too rich in your eyes?
So I picked Kansas to win the title. You know, at the start of the season, I believed in this Kansas team because I think Kansas has the National Player of the Year. I think Ochai Agbaji is the National Player of the Year. I thought he was all year. I understand Sheboy had the double-doubles and everything, even though Baycott has already broken Sheboy's double-double record. So, that's neither here nor there. But I thought Ochai was the best player in the country. What I saw Saturday confirmed that to me a little bit, that he's going to be able to be that star on Monday night. The only thing that gives me hesitancy in believing in Kansas running away with this is that Leaky Black is the perfect matchup for Ochai Agbaji. And Leaky is, I think, the best defender in the ACC. He didn't win ACC player or defensive player of the year. Obviously, Mark Williams did, but I thought he was the best defensive player. He's going to be good on Ochai, but when you have Remy Martin, who's a firecracker, who, like you said, he could put up 20 points in any game, that's a nice X factor for Kansas. And if David McCormick, their big man, he had 23 and 9 on Saturday, and obviously Villanova doesn't have a traditional big. Eric Dixon is more of like a Jared Sullinger, 4-man playing the 5. But if Armando Baycott is 80%, like some people were saying he is after Saturday with his ankle, and McCormick has a big game, I could see Kansas winning this game by more than 4 points. So
he basically has to outmuscle Baycott, and if he plays, and if I don't know, with ankles, it seems like it gets worse 2 days later. But who knows? And he goes for these walks and everything.
The secret for Kansas is that Mitch Lightfoot, their backup big, he's been there 15 years. Yeah. He's the perfect kind of guy to bait Baycott into some early fouls. So that's another thing to watch out for.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Baycott's going to be. I was looking at the pros. McCormick's not going to be a pro. He's senior, so this is it. I mean, not to say that no one's going to step it up like he does, but Baji's a pro. Baycott's a pro. Who else is a pro here? I think you have 3.
Caleb Love's a pro.
Who else?
Caleb Love's a pro.
Right.
Christian Brown will get a look. He's probably a pro. Who else? Jalen Wilson for Kansas is a pro. I think Leaky Black's a pro. I mean, I think a lot of people.
Agbaji's the first round. There's the only first rounder out of the game.
Agbaji's the only one that, like, if he plays well and has 25 points tonight, that he could be like a lottery pick. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't think there's anybody else that could boost their self up into that range. I mean, Caleb Love could be a first round pick if he has 25 points and wins MOP. Maybe he's like late first round guy, but Agbaji's the really only lottery guy in the game.
Yep. Yeah, I was looking at it for point guard. Yeah, I think Caleb Love could jump to the late middle first round, I think, with a big game, but who knows? I don't know at this point. All right. Parlay Kid, which way you going? Kansas -4, 152 is the over under.
I'm joining you here, Sal. Kansas -4.
I feel bad doing this to Tate. I mean, but
I get
keep
it.
in mind, I've been bad.
It's an emotional.
I get it too.
There's a lot of emotions involved in these games, right? Like we don't.
Yeah.
And part of it, just look at their fans. Like Tate can barely contain himself, like with his emotions. He can barely speak. Like they've already kind of won in their minds the national championship, right?
Yeah.
So I think for them, they're coming off a very high, and it's tough to really maintain these type of emotions. Kansas has been very businesslike this whole tournament. They've just taken care of business game after game after game, kind of under the radar, and. Quite frankly, this Kansas team, I think, is a veteran team, like you said, Sal. They do have guys here that have been around for quite some time. And I just think that's what maybe gets them over the hump. In fact, that they've just been very businesslike. And does North Carolina really deserve to win this game? They already won their big game, right? No, seriously. The fans are happy no matter what. Kansas needs this game. Their season's been kind of a waste. North Carolina, they've had their moment. That's it. They're done. I'm right, Tate. Come on, I'm right when I say this.
I will say, Kansas has been disrespected all season. You know what I mean? Like no one even really gave them a fair shake to win the title. So I understand why they have all the ammo to think that they're the team of destiny. So
speaking of fair shakes, you have more than a fair shake, Tate. This is hardly a dilemma, I know, because the money. I mean, you're a very rich and powerful man now at 23 years old, whatever you are. But you're I gave you free bets at the beginning of the tournament. I was like, thanks for jumping on. I'm gonna give you a couple free bets. One was Villanova to make the Final Four. This is your pick.
Yep.
$550. You're listening to IRS. Go tax him. It was sent to his Venmo account. You get your other pick was 10-1 Kansas. You're going to win $1,000. So you're sitting pretty. I mean, at some point, I don't know.
I got to show you guys. That's $1,000 would be great, Sal. But what really would be great. It's $3,000. I bet on the North Carolina Tar Heels 30-1 in October to win the national championship. And if they win the national championship, I have to go to Cherokee, North Carolina to collect my $3,000.
No kidding. All right.
So either
I don't know
way,
if it's worth it. I've never been to Cherokee, but if it's worth it to travel?
It's worth it.
Don't give it to Harry. That's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah, October 28, 2021. Harry's looking at the ticket right now. But either way tonight, like you said, I can get 1,000 or I can get 3,000. And
wow.
I want to get Harry's stealing my ticket.
He already put it under his shirt. I don't know how. I don't think it's worth anything.
It's
now.
Soaked now.
Keep it away from Harry, and don't give it to Jim Cunningham either. He's
going to
get robbed.
Sell it on the street to that watch guy.
See some person experience homelessness waiting in line in Cherokee, North Carolina, trying to cash that thing in.
Hey, Tate, word has it that Roy Williams is rooting for Kansas tonight, just so you know. I don't know if you knew
What a weird thing, right? I'm trying to think of anything like this. He's definitely rooting
for Kansas. I don't care what how many they want to show him in the UNC. Kansas is what made Roy Williams. Roy Williams was made at Kansas. That's who he's rooting for. And, and you know what? Roy Williams is as big of a prick as Coach K is. So there you go. Whatever. We can all admit it. If Coach K is an ass, Roy Williams is an ass. That's fine.
Well, if he was, by the way, Parlay Kid, I'd be rooting for Kansas too if I were him, because I'm an asshole. I'm a petulant little baby, and I'd be like, there's two ways to look at it. Like this, he coached some of these players, right? You think there'd be like a tie to them. He put the Hubert Davis, he put Coach D in place. That's why he's rooting for Carolina. But on the other hand, it's like, oh shit, I don't want them winning 1 year removed from my tenure there. I got to root for Kansas.
And
right?
that's the type of guy Roy Williams is, Sal.
That's how
exactly.
Yes.
I promise you this: Coach K would pull against Duke if John Shire was in the title game. Coach K would pull against Duke.
Yeah,
there's no doubt in my mind. No doubt in my mind.
All right, brother Brian, you going Coach D or Coach S? And
Shit. Coach S.
Coach S is so stupid.
I'm going UNC here with the 4. I'm a little disappointed. I mean, I'm a little disappointed in Tate, kind of going against his team already. But I hear what you guys are saying. I mean, that totally makes sense, and that was in the back of my mind, right? They kind of already won their championship, but they have been on this stretch of you've beaten Baylor, you've beaten UCLA, you've beaten Duke now. So they have been playing. They have been playing for the past month the best ball probably in college basketball. Both these teams really have. But UNC's covered all 5 games so far. They're 9-1 against the spread in their last 10. I do think if Baycott is around 80%, I think that's probably good enough to keep this a close game. I mean, they will match up with them a lot better size-wise, unlike Nova. But they have the ability in this game, like Love, RJ, or Manic. One of those 3 guys can get very hot and carry this team. And you saw that in the last game against Duke, right? RJ carried them in the first half. Love carried them in the second half. And Manic played really well in the second half too. So I feel like they should play loose tonight because they really have kind of nothing to lose in this game because they did already win their championship. But I think I like them getting the 4 here.
All right. Yeah. Oh man, it's such a fun game that's come down to this. I like those teams we know. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I don't know if you guys saw this, but it just came out that when Brady Manick hit the 3, the big 3 late, when he did the pump fake and Banchero closed out on him, when he hit it in front of the Carolina bench, he said to Banchero, "Bang, bang, motherfucker."
Yeah. Was that when his foot was almost out of bounds? Was that right when the heel? Was that the shot?
In bounds. Yeah, you don't put your heels down.
Tate couldn't see he was getting tackled at the time.
Did he say that?
All right, Harry. I know you're going Carolina because you're everything Tate Frazier. You're sitting right next to him. You don't want to get smacked. So go ahead.
Although, Harry, you must have been rooting for Duke to win that game, though, right? Because the fact that
yes and no. I did take them because I had Kansas money line with Duke money line, but still, overall, if I lose, I don't care because I can't stand Coach K either. So it was fine to me.
I thought you would have, when we went over things like that, what would you want to see, right? We did that a few weeks ago. I figured seeing Coach K lose in the finals, I thought you would have been
right
ideal.
Though, Bri. I just really thought that, okay, they won in Cameron. They got it done.
Yeah.
And blew them out in the end, too. So that would be good enough. And the run, beating Baylor was fine, too, but as number 1 seed. But again, against Coach K, is Coach K really going to lose 2 to North Carolina down the stretch like this?
Yes.
And then Tate made a great point where it's like you were just waiting to see how they're going to get – the refs are going to screw them, and somehow Coach K is going to pull it out and be in the championship game.
Of course.
And when it didn't happen, are you kidding me?
Yeah,
wow.
Exactly. That's why we were tackling each other.
So we were watching it too. Just like, what, like, is this kind of happen? And it didn't happen. It was amazing. And I can understand you guys' point of taking Kansas. Their defense has been tremendous. 8 of the last 9 games, they've given up 65 points or less. McCormick and Abaji were great. Sally, you said we were watching it. Abaji didn't miss a shot till 5 minutes left in the game.
Yeah.
And when Baycott injured, it makes sense to take Kansas, but I am taking the heels with the points here. Almost a team of destiny. Like I said, you would probably even figure after losing February 16th at home to Pittsburgh, what and knowing that when you lost that game, are we even going to make the tournament? What's the question?
Yeah,
Honestly.
I never bought into the fact that they were a bubble team, but I understood, the overreaction of that. I mean, Carolina, the whole year, they were like 1 game back at Duke. And if you heard all the smart media people, they would say there's Duke and then there's everyone else in the ACC. Meanwhile, Duke almost lost every game at home to everyone in the ACC, and then lost to Miami, lost to Virginia, got blown out by Carolina at home. Yet they were this far removed from the rest of the ACC. I never really bought in the hype, but you're right. When Pittsburgh beat Carolina, I thought the season was probably dead to rights.
Pittsburgh finished 11-21, 11-21, but North Carolina's 11-1 since then. Again, like we said, beat Coach K twice. They had a 25-point lead on a number 1 seed Baylor and held on to win that game. Where Davis was fantastic in that game,
RJ.
had 30 points.
I mean, that was the one. Yeah, Harry could rattle off a million stats. We get it, but the fact that they won that game, they let Baylor come back they were up 25. They let them come back. That goes to overtime. I don't know what the spread was, but it looked like Carolina was cooked there. Where Leaky Black could not figure out the press, right? Like that was the whole thing. Like he was getting pressed, and that's how they made their comeback. I'm like, oh well, this team's not going to last very long, and it's unbelievable. You guys are where you are.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not telling you something you don't know. But.
No, I mean, when that game went to overtime, it was over, right? Everyone knew it was over. Baylor was going to win in overtime, and it was going to be a story of like the greatest comeback in tournament history. That was going to be the whole conversation. And then Duke was going to go win the title, and then every Duke fan was going to say, Cameron Indoor never happened. We were the national champions, and you guys blew the biggest game in college basketball history. That was where we were headed. And the fact that we are where we are right now is why it feels so amazing, because we all kind of knew what it was going to be. So,
it is
crazy.
Amazing. All right, let's go props real quick, Harry. While we have you, you're going Caleb Love. This is the big one. This is the one everybody likes. Over 16.5. This seems easy. Well, the guy doesn't miss anymore. It's minus 122.
Yeah, plus with Baycott injured, he's going to have to pick up the scoring probably. He had 28 on Saturday. He willed them to the win against UCLA when he had 6 threes in that game. He had 30 in that one. Love's also at 23 against Marquette in the 8-9 matchup where he had 6 threes as well. Only a sophomore playing like a senior leader. I'm going to take Caleb Love over 16.5. What do you need, Tate? All you need is...
If Caleb Love scores 20 or more points, Carolina is undefeated.
Wow.
That is my favorite stat that I've learned this year, that if Caleb Love scores over 20. But I'm a little worried about Caleb having a letdown game. I will say that. I'm a little worried about that. But
so that's where I'm at. I'm going under 2.5 threes because I think he can get like 14 or 17 or 18 points, but I don't know what maybe gets to the line or something. But and this is a scary bet because he's taken 10 or more 3 attempts in 5 of the last 6 games. And it's not a fun bet to root for by any means, but I like the plus 120 here. I do think there's going to be well, by the way, 2 of 7 would not be terrible from 3 for him. And it wins you this bet under 2.5 threes. But I hope for your sake, Tate, that's that. Harry, you like him also for outstanding player?
Yeah, look, I think at plus 380, that's pretty good value. Scored 21 or more points in 5 times in the last 9 games. Again, I mentioned he had 28 in the last game. I don't think McCormick and Abaji are going to be able to repeat what they did on Saturday. That was amazing what they really did. I don't think they're going to be able to do it again. Love has 18 threes in the tournament here, 72 points in the last 3 games. Love is in the air here in the Big Easy. All you need is love, baby. All you need is love.
Always end up. All you need is love. Yeah. Anything else with love? We need some love similes here.
Tate, there we go.
I like it. Cheers, buddy. Cheers.
By the way, he's
Tate in the heels.
He's 17 and a half,
baby.
Harry tried to screw us again. He's 17 and a half is his over under, not 16 and a half.
It was 16 and a half when I looked.
17 and a half minus 113.
See, people love the over.
Yeah, that's what you got. All right. Parlay Kid. I'm trying to think. I'm looking at is outstanding player and there's highest scorer, right? You can bet all this on FanDuel. Where's the highest scorer? Was he plus 480 for highest scorer, Harry?
No,
he was
plus 380 highest score,
380.
5-1 for the most outstanding player.
Okay, gotcha. All right, Parlay Kid, what's your prop?
Yes, I do like what you're saying with Love too. I think the shooting part has been kind of the overrated part of the 3-point game for himself. I mean, he takes a high volume, but
he does.
He's 12 for 37 in his last 4 games here. It's not like he's been shooting lights out from 3. He does make big ones, and he has no fear in shooting. I think the strongest part of his game has been really attacking the rim. He's very, very creative in there, and he's done a very nice job. But his
and he did shoot 55% from the field against Duke too.
No, well, again, and yet Harry, what was he? 3 for 10 from 3 or 2 for whatever it was. It has nothing to do with his shooting. It's a lot of him making shots in the paint
like JD
that has really been the key.
Shots.
So I like what you did there. So I'm going to ride with Jalen Wilson here. I have him in 2 ways here. I kind of getting overlooked here from Kansas, but he's the one guy from their team that's averaging a double-double in this tournament. He's averaging 11.5 points a game, 10.5 rebounds a game. He's gone over the double digits in rebounds in 4 straight games. So I'm taking him over 8.5 rebounds. As I said, 4 straight over 10. And for the tournament, he's averaging 10.5. And I'm also going to be taking him MVP of this game at 30-1. Once again, I'll just reemphasize that he's averaging 11 points and he's not shooting well. So if his shooting percentage can go up, he's shooting like 35% in this tournament while averaging
Right.
11 points. If he somehow has a much better shooting game and he's at 50% tonight, we're talking about a guy who might get 18 and 11 rebounds. Might be good enough. I think it's worth a shot. As Tate said, this guy is one of the few potential pros in this game. He's got the talent to do it. At 30-1, I'll ride with him as the MVP.
Now we should mention the most outstanding player. It's for the Final Four, right? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Tate?
Yeah, it's for the Final Four. So you got to kind of look back at the first game because I feel like there's certain guys, like on Carolina's side, there's only 3 guys who could win it. Bacot, who had 22 rebounds, Caleb Love, who obviously hit this big shot, and RJ Davis. And I don't know what the odds are on RJ Davis, but if you're going to pick a Carolina guy that has maybe a dark horse odds, I feel like RJ would be the pick.
All right, so RJ Davis is 20-1. Abaji's plus 125. He's the favorite. Caleb Love is 5-1. Bacot 550. I'm taking David McCormick because I think he has a pretty good head start.
That's a good call.
And if he outmuscles Bacot, like I think he would have to for Kansas to win, plus 650 is nice odds. I mean, a 25-point Saturday is a good head start for this guy who, like I said, not going to get drafted. Senior, little chip on his shoulder in addition to everything else. And then you're right. The Brady Manics are 12-1. Remy Martin's 12-1, but I don't think he scored enough Saturday to want to put up a monster game. All right, Bri, what's your prop?
Yeah, I'm going to go back. I took this on Friday. I went Brady Manic over 2.5 threes. I'm going to stick with it again. It's minus 140, so you're giving up a little bit more. But he was crucial in that second half against Duke. You know, he was 0 for 2 from 3 in the first half, kind of non-existent until he hit that little runner right before the half, and then he made 3 of his last 3 of 4 from 3 in the second half of that game. And some of those were really tough, you know. I mean, such a quick release he had with guys in his face. So I think that'll carry him into this game. You know, he might have to shoulder a little bit more of the offensive load here. And, you know, he's hit 3 or more threes. I said this last time, but he's hit 3 or more threes every game this tournament and in 8 of his last 9 games. So, you know, I think he could easily get 3 here.
And who's your MOP?
The RJ Davis, what Tate said before, at 20-1. You know, because again, I mean, he really carried them. He played great in that first half against UNC. Obviously, picked up a couple cheap fouls kind of late in that game, but you know, he's the type of guy who could get hot, right? And you know, we saw that in the Baylor game. So, and he could, you know, he could just have a great all-around game and get 20 to 25 points. So I think the 20-1 just caught my eye. When I saw that.
7 and 4 in the game.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it was a great game. Great rebounder, too.
He had 12 assists in the first game against Marquette. He's the kind of guy that could have like 14 and 12. You know what I mean? Where you're like, he completely controlled the game. So,
Is there a player prop? I know you probably haven't studied the numbers, Tate. It's been a crazy weekend. Is there one we're missing? A player you think might underachieve or light it up tonight that we're not?
I will say I think Jalen Wilson's a great call because what Carolina did against Paolo Banchero is they loaded up on his side every single time and they were willing to leave Keels and all these other guys open. And I don't think they're gonna, and they were helping Brady. You know what I mean? Because Brady who was obviously matched up with Banchero. I don't think they're going to help as much on Wilson. They're probably going to be more focused on Agbaji. And Jalen Wilson is a tough matchup for Brady Manic. So I could see Wilson, you know, having a big game and like Parlay Kid said, maybe winning MOP.
I forgot about the Keels thing. I mean, imagine that guy went crazy and Duke still lost. Like
exactly.
What the hell has to happen? He had 19, right? It was like 8 for 14.
Yeah, when he hit that late 3, I think it was like under a minute. It was like 74-73 when he hit it. I was like, if this guy's hitting that, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And then Brady answered right back.
Also, I know the whole world. I mean, you talk about you waiting for the hammer to drop with the refs, but believe me, you deserve to win. But Theo John, and I get it. Everyone needs to know Duke's third string center. But I don't remember a player having. Well, Brian, we were talking about like 4 fouls in the first half. That was crazy.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. You never see that because usually it's like the first stringers. When guys come off the bench, you're a little bit, you know, you're willing to risk a little bit more. But yeah, you barely see that ever.
Yeah, I mean, if I was his parents, like my mom said this after the game, it was like if I was his mom and I saw Coach K sacrifice him like that, I would literally hate him forever. After the guy didn't even get a senior night, he gets no senior night, and then Coach K sacrificed him in the first half.
Right,
unbelievable.
All right, now listen, we're gonna do. I'm not picking this. I feel like we and Harry's not involved because he's going to be at the game. But we do race to 10. We usually do race to 10 Tuesday, Tate. Last week we did it for the college game. Who did we do? We lost, right? Who do we have?
We did it for the Jazz.
Harry,
Jazz Clippers. We did a college game though, right? 2 weeks ago?
Gonzaga.
Oh yeah, because that's
Right,
the week
that's right.
before though, right?
The week before.
We
Yeah.
won with the Gonzaga.
Okay, so it's a little riskier now with the, not riskier, but it might take a little more time. The fun of this bet, Tate, is that it's over in 3 minutes in the NBA typically, right? NCAA, especially with the unders coming in like they were last week, you may take you to the first TV timeout, which I think it happened with Gonzaga. That sucked. That actually we won that one, right? Yeah, we had won that one. All right, so now we have to race to 10 pick. Who scores 10 points first? Tate, in your unbiased opinion, which we've only had from you for the last 30 minutes, who scores 10 points first? If you take Kansas, it's minus 135. If you take Carolina, it's plus 110.
I close my eyes. I think the score is 10-4 Kansas, and I think Carolina is at the first media timeout, and they're like, "Oh wow, we're gonna have to play tonight. We're playing a really good basketball team." So I think Kansas hit Villanova in the mouth early, and Villanova was like, "Oh my goodness." And I think they do the same thing to Carolina.
What's weird is they've won the race to 10. They won it against Miami, which you wouldn't have thought because Miami won the half, right? But they lost it to Creighton, who they ended up beating up. I don't know, they've done it so many different ways. But that's what I mean. They've won with defense against Providence. And then, like you said, they jumped out against Nova. Carolina, on the other hand, 5-0 in the race to 10. I looked it up. And most of them ended on a Caleb Love jumper. I think 3 of those for sure. Who's picking, Bry or Parlay Kid? Who are we going with?
I think Tate just picked. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
All
We
right,
don't need
Tate.
to pick.
Blood's on your hands. If Kansas
just picked.
I
I think that
want to
worked
be
out.
wrong. I want to be wrong. Today is my day where I want to be wrong. I'm pulling against myself. All these Kansas fans are like, "You've been sticking your neck out for us all season." I'm like, shut up.
I think that's
Tate doesn't know which way to turn.